Read 180 Audiobooks presents The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Before you start reading, let me tell you a little about the book. The Outsiders was first published back in the 1960s. It was a big success back then, and it's been really popular with teenage readers ever since. Maybe that's because the author, S.E. Hinton, was only 16 years old when she wrote the book, and it was inspired by the kids she hung out with in real life. The Outsiders is set in a city in Oklahoma, in the southwestern part of the United States. It's about the rivalry between two groups of kids. The Socials, known as the Socs for short, are the richest kids in town. They live in a wealthy neighborhood, drive fancy cars, and wear expensive clothing. The Socs' wealthy parents buy their kids whatever they want. The other group of kids is the Greasers. The Greasers live in a tough part of town. None of them have much money. They wear mostly jeans and t-shirts, and they get their nickname from their trademark long hair, which they slick back with lots of hair grease. Some of the Greasers have been in trouble with the law, and many are high school dropouts. The other people in town look down on them, especially the Socs, who like to beat up the Greasers for fun. The narrator, the guy who tells this story, is a Greaser by the unusual name of Ponyboy. He's only 14, but already he knows exactly how the rest of the town sees him and his friends, and he knows that their viewpoint is often wrong and unfair. When Ponyboy and his best friend Johnny are attacked by a bunch of Socs, events happen that will change their lives forever. To find out more, turn to page 1 and get ready to follow along as you listen. But first, here's a word from your reading coach.
Hi, I'm Nicole. We'll be reading The Outsiders together. This story looks pretty cool. It's about two rival gangs, the fights they get into, and the loyalties they feel. As we read, I'll drop in once in a while to make sure we don't miss anything important. I'll share some things I do to help me understand what's going on in the story and to figure out the meanings of difficult words. When you hear this sound, it means I have something to say. Okay, let's get started. Remember to follow along in your book as you listen.
Chapter 1. When I stepped out into the bright sunlight from the darkness of the movie house, I had only two things on my mind: Paul Newman and a ride home. I was wishing I looked like Paul Newman. He looks tough, and I don't. But I guess my own looks aren't so bad. I have light brown, almost red hair and greenish-gray eyes. I wish they were more gray, because I hate most guys that have green eyes. But I have to be content with what I have. Remembering, and this time it didn't hurt, a quiet, defeated-looking 16-year-old whose hair needed cutting badly, and who had black eyes with a frightened expression to them. 1 week had taken all three of them, and I decided I could tell people, beginning with my English teacher. I wondered for a long time how to start that theme, how to start writing about something that was important to me. And I finally began like this. When I stepped out into the bright sunlight from the darkness of the movie house, I had only two things on my mind: Paul Newman and a ride home.
Hey, did you notice that? The first sentence of Pony's theme about coming out of the movie theater and thinking of Paul Newman is the same as the first sentence in this book. I guess that means that the story he wrote for his assignment is supposed to be the same story we just read. That's pretty cool. Pony wanted to tell the world about kids like him, poor kids from rough neighborhoods whom everyone looks down on. He wanted to tell their side of the story so that people would understand them and see that money and appearances don't really mean much when it comes to judging someone's character. How do you think he did? Personally, I think he did a great job. I really liked this book, and I think it's got a lot to say about rich kids and poor kids, about what people are really like, and how things are rough all over. Thanks for reading this book with me. If you liked it as much as I did, be sure to recommend it to a friend.